My name's Ellen, and I'm the creator of the Warrior Instructor Academy. Yeah, and we started with Warrior Rhythm at the beginning of the pandemic because I wanted to create a format that kind of fit this like strange niche for people that wish they liked yoga, but didn't have the temperament to sit still for very long. And then like a few months later, as that grand brand, it is a grand brand, as that brand grew, I launched Warrior Strength, which was very much in my wheelhouse because I've been like lifting and doing athletic conditioning since, since I can remember in my life. But we're here to talk about Warrior Combat and sort of its inception, what it is, and like how I met this one, and and all that stuff. So I guess I could throw to Diva, and you could say how.
What you want me to say?
How about how we met first?
Boom. So my name is Diva Richards. I'm from Philly, the fighting city of Philadelphia. We breed champions, yo. We breed boxers.
And Philly cheesesteaks.
Yes, Philly cheesesteaks, yo. Until you get a cheesesteak from Philly, you ain't had a Philly cheesesteak. I don't know what y'all be eating out here. So stop that. Don't eat that. Come to Philly, I'll buy you one for free. Okay, so yeah, this one, right? So we're at a conference. I'm teaching my boxing thing, and this group of girls comes in my room and like takes over my room. And I'm like, who are these chicks? They all over the place. And they had these shirts on with these like lotus things. And the energy was amazing though. They were giving me so much energy.
Lots of red lipstick.
Yeah, like they had a whole vibe.
A lot of loud laughers.
I was with it. So they kept coming to my formats and they're like, oh, I guess they said to her like, you gotta meet Diva. And so then she comes in and we meet. And she's like, hi, I'm Ellen. I'm like, damn, she got a lot of tattoos. Like, there's just so many tattoos. I didn't know. She snuck up on me with the tattoo thing.
Just one tattoo.
Yeah?
Just one, yeah, just one.
Yeah. All right, wait, I'm not done. So then the girls, we kind of meet. I saw she had like a little bit. I really didn't realize how much she had. I only saw like her arms at this point. So then we're on this panel together, right? This is, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Oh yeah, that is where we met.
That's where we met.
That's where
right.
we met.
So we're on this panel together. Y'all gotta get me with this, right? We're on a panel and we're sitting there and the panel was talking about being a fitness brand and standing out and having an identity. And then the person running the panel, I had like just gave my little speech. I was like, blah, 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 I'm Diva, this is what I do. And then she was talking about people who stand out. And then the woman says, well, you know, Ellen here stands out. And now, mind you, I had on a blazer. You know, I got my little half sleeves. I'm sitting there. And she's like, because Ellen has, you know, tons of tattoos. She's like, take off your jacket. Because I'm going to tell you right now, if she's fully zipped, you don't know how many tattoos this woman got. So she like zip, right? She like this. And then the lady says, Ellen, take off your jacket. Take off your jacket. Bro, she took off her jacket, right? And then it was just tattoos everywhere. So once she did that, I pulled down the sleeves on my blazer because I realized I was not that cool anymore. And I looked at her and I remember looking at you going, I was like, all right, kid. And she was like, I'm older than you. I was like, whatever. All right, kid. So that's kind of when we started like joking. And then I went to her booth and I met these amazing women. And I was like, yo, where y'all from? And they like, Oregon. I'm like, don't nobody live in Oregon? They like, we do. And so we started talking. So we kind of started building like this weird distant friendship. And then we went to another conference and I'll never forget it. She was like, oh, you should hang out with us. Come to dinner with us tonight. And I was like, I don't be doing this dinner thing with a whole bunch of people. Like I'm a lone wolf, you know what I mean? I be solo. But I was like, all right, they seem cool. So I was like, all right. So we go, right? We go to dinner and then we just kind of start talking. She's like, we really should like figure out what conferences we're going to and like if we cross each other and everything. I'm like, bet. So we get to dinner. You love my storytelling. I know I'm dope. When we get to dinner and we start talking and she asked me, she said, so what do you do? Like, what's your fitness brand? I'm like, well, I teach boxing. I was like, they pay me to come and teach boxing. And she was like, well, I pay to be here and sell my brand. And she said, why don't you create your own? And I was like, I never thought about that. Never crossed my mind. She said, create your own certification and you can certify people in your stuff. And I was like, okay, I don't know how to do it. She was like, I've done the whole process. I'll teach you. I said, great. So we start having the conversation. And
there was like
what?
A huge table full of girls that were all like, yes, please create it. I want to.
Oh yeah, because they were all into the old, whatever them old other formats they named is irrelevant, but clearly irrelevant because they don't exist anymore. But they were all like, yeah, you should do it. So she and I started having these conversations, and then I realized a few things. One, yes, I wanted to do it, but two, I just really had no knowledge how. And she already had such a strong brand and following, it did not make sense for me to try to step out on my own because I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I didn't know how to like create it and brand it and make it make sense. So I said, look, why don't we partner? I said, why don't I come under your umbrella and we create a warrior boxing format? And so then she had to think about it because she was like, this chick is crazy. I don't know. And then she was like trying to vet me to make sure I knew what I was talking about.
All over Google, like trying to,
make sure I wasn't weird.
Yeah. Yeah, I just take my time to think about things. It was a big commitment.
It is.
It's hard to lead. It's hard for two strong personalities to work well together. But we do. Mostly because we're really different.
Yeah, we definitely different. So we decided to have a baby.
Yeah.
So, and go ahead, you go, and then Warrior Combat.
Well, yeah. So basically, when I started watching you at the conferences, I was like truly in awe of your presenter skills and mostly your energy teaching. Like to the point, and I've told you this, I thought, I gotta level up. Like that's some amazing energy. So I was very inspired by your leadership. I really want to say like so many of our warrior instructors with rhythm and strength wanted Diva, like wanted you to create something that they could teach also. So we already had the market and we already had the interest, and it is something that was really outside of my wheelhouse, unlike the other formats. Right. So I definitely didn't feel like I could do it on my own, and so it felt like it was one of those times in life where it was an opportunity that if I didn't seize it was going to pass me by. And there was a lot of important timing pieces in there. We were building, we had energy, we had inertia, we had interest. And also we were coming up on a new calendar year. So we ended up, when we decided to commit, we worked feverishly. Like I wrote that manual in like 2 weeks, I think. Yeah. We filmed 3 lessons in, I think, 3 months, so that instructors could get certified and have new content heading into Q1, where there's a lot of energy at the beginning of a calendar year. Yeah. So we worked so hard at setting up our family for success. Absolutely. But anyway, this brand, I mean, they're all unique. Warrior Rhythm has its like come as you are mantra, and Warrior Strength has its all shapes, all sizes, and there's a lot of overlap. There's a lot of like cultural pieces of the formats that relate. They're very like familial. They feel like, even in our programming and moves, you'll see like one move that will repeat through the different formats. So they feel like they're connected. But Warrior Combat's mantra is keep fighting. Do you want to kind of talk about what that means and what that means in your life?
Yes, and I'm not going to curse. So, so keep fighting is super personal for me. We built Combat when I was going through one of the most tumultuous times of my life, without really getting into that.
Which I didn't know.
Yeah, and she had no idea. But every day it was extremely important to me that we continued to meet, we continued to talk, we continued to choreograph, we continued to create. And, it sustained me when I was going through some deep-ish. So the warrior community was so amazing, and she and, you know, her trusting and believing in me was so amazing. And I've been boxing since I was like in my 20s. So boxing really, I don't say this lightly, saved my life. It really did. So when we created this format, it was important to me that that energy bled through. Like, I want people to, when they come in the classroom, whatever you're going through, you're gonna let that go, you're gonna punch, you're gonna kick, and you're gonna keep fighting, you're gonna keep going. You have a bad day, you're gonna keep fighting. Your spouse leaves you, you're gonna keep fighting. The kid's getting on your nerves, you gotta keep fighting. So just that whole being relentless and pushing forward is really the driving force behind this brand and why it's so personal. Every lesson is personal, it's so personal. So hopefully that breathes through and people take that energy and put it into their class.
It's not to inspire like violence per se. It is really, it's like a metaphor for life and being resilient, and everyone has stuff they're going through and struggles, and so we want the workout, albeit very hard physically, to transcend the superficial, getting a good workout, losing weight. Like, we want it to, while it is those things, we want it to transcend that and be something that is more meaningful and more impactful in people's lives. And so, yeah, we're really, really proud of it and threw it together insanely quickly, but you know.
Strong body, strong mind. We got it done. Yeah. And it you know, it's funny, we have two different working temperaments. We do both strive for excellence, just in a different type of way. So where she tends to be more like type A, I'm more like, I'll get to it tomorrow. But I get it done. I always get my work done and show up. So,
yeah. And I couldn't work with someone like me. I would not.
I couldn't work with I couldn't work with someone like me. We would never get things done.
True.
So when I say to you it's a match kind of made in heaven and meant to be, the timing was impeccable. And the crazy part is once we dropped Combat, literally like 5 other brands dropped boxing programs. I was like, okay, we were ahead of the curve. Like, we saw it coming. And that alone is a gift, being able to see where the industry is going and what it needs and what people are craving. So I'm very proud of our ability to do that and create this community.
So I just want to say thank you, like from the bottom of my heart, to those of you who have been early adopters and helped us establish and give this brand a strong foundation. It wouldn't exist but for you, and we don't take your trust and your time and your talent for granted. So, and if you haven't started teaching Warrior Combat, you don't have to have boxing experience. Nope. You don't even have to have teaching experience, because our certification does break down the basics from anatomy, kinesiology, physiology, but also like how to cue, form and technique, musicality, and all that stuff. So yeah, and also like if you are established in our industry, we're always on the prowl and looking for leaders and strong talent.
Yes.
Yeah, and thank you for coming on board with me.
Bestie.